Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Alright guys, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Here's another video from Anime Studio 12 or MoHo 12. I promised you a Let's Go and Bone Kevin video. So today we're going to rig Kevin, and this is the video. So one of the things I just want to say beforehand is I originally I made this right after I made the last video, and I was so exhausted from like talking that I decided to just like film it, and I was listening to or record it, and I was listening to the Hamilton soundtrack. So obviously I can't play the original video because of content ID matches and all that stuff. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a voiceover on what it is that we're going to be doing in this video. So I don't know if you've been seeing, and maybe I should rewind this a little bit. As you can see, it's actually recorded. I just actually right here I created a bone, and what I did is I put all of the eyes and the whole entire Kevin body inside the bone, and that way you need to do this. You need to create a new bone whenever you go to rig a character that you've designed. Now, this character, when we designed it with the intent of rigging him and having him do motion. And so, as you can see, you're going to see some alterations that we're going to have to make to the character. So if you saw, I just created the top bone, the middle bone, which is this one right over here. And then that's the main body bone. And then we created the 3 neck bones. And then right here we created the head. And now I'm creating the wing bone. It looks like it disappeared. What actually happened is the bone is the same color as the wing. I was actually kind of freaking out. Well, it wasn't at this point, but there's a point where I'm like, wait, where did the bone go? But I found it later. So you always, whenever you're creating your bones, you want to make sure that everything is based off of your center bone. And to do that, you just press up. So if you're seeing, I just designed, see, when I pressed up, up, and up, it went straight to the middle bone. Now from the middle bone, I can create the new leg. And then from there, you want that to be red. You create the I guess this was the thigh and this is the leg. And now we create the foot. Okay. So what we're doing now is we're just rigging the skeleton, and then we're gonna attach to the skeleton the different body parts so that we can animate the character. Now we won't be doing much animation here. We're just rigging, and then we're gonna be testing the rig, but we won't be animating in this video. So if you notice, I wanted to, on these feathers, I wanted to make sure that I could, wiggle them independently. What I did is I made it into 2 groups. I made these 2 feathers one group and these 3 another. Well, I'm going to make, I haven't made it yet. So they're on the same layer though. So the reason I did that is so that they can have like independent flapping when you do the muscles. And let's see, what are we working on now? This is from yesterday. I was falling asleep. So there's the feather, like I told you, the wing that was the same color as the wing. And basically, I think right now we're doing the binding. So we binded that one to the actual wing layer. It's the only binding that we're going to do today where I'm doing it to the layer, because the rest of the body was kind of all designed in one unit. So as you can see, that's the only one. But since I have strength up, if you notice, it's forming and malforming the whole body, which actually, that's kind of cool. I maybe should have left that. I didn't leave it. I took it off on all of them. But no, it's better that I didn't leave it. So there's the wing, so it could flap. If you remember the last video, he has a little wing. He's a really big bird with itty bitty wings. He can't fly. What I did here is I did Control A and then I lowered the strength. Now, none of the bones, none of the layers are being manipulated by the strength of the bones. So then when we go to the head feather, we're basically going to bind it. Now, if you notice I use that tool, I should have used the bind point tool, but here's another way you can do it. It's not the best, but you can do it this way, and then I lassoed it, and if you notice, I went this way. That way it won't select this point, and this point will belong to these here. See, that's how I should have done it. I should have done this, then lassoed around, and then bind points. You can do it either way. As you can see, you can do it either way. And then I always test my rigs right after. And there you go. Actually, I'm noticing this should have been closer in so that it can go from here. I never really fixed that. I should have. But I didn't notice it at the time. I was tired. I just finished doing the video right before this. So now I'm going to rig the other one. And what I should have done, if you notice, I went up to the points. I should have left these points for this one. And I do. I go back and I fix it. You'll see. There you go. Oh, I did. I did go fix it right away. And, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so I select the bone. Then I select the bind points. And then I just pick that one little point. And then I bind. You're going to see two mouses because I'm actually doing the playback at full screen. And then you're recording a playback of a playback. It's crazy, whatever. But I just I wasn't gonna reshoot it, and I wanted, and but I really wanted to voice this over correctly. So there we did the top, and go to Kevin. If you notice, I went to the top bone. You should always be at frame 0, and you should always be at the bone, and that way you can test. This tools won't pop up. If these tools don't pop up, I've had where they don't pop up and I'm like, where is it? Where is it? I'm either not on the top bone or I'm not at frame 0. Remember that. Always remember that. If you're like, why don't I have the tools that I'm used to seeing or the ones I should be seeing? Then that's what it is. So then here I wanted to fix that. If you saw, this kind of disconnects every time I move it. So by doing that, I fix it. I had to play with it a little bit. Believe it or not, I was learning as I was making this video a bit, and it was a bit of trial and error. See, I learned you can grow a bone from the end, but you can't grow a bone from the base for some reason. So, but whatever, it is what it is, and I figured a way around it. And oh. I think what happened, I'm not sure, when I moved the bone, I disattached. Oh, no, I didn't. There you go. Now you see, it's not coming off the head. That's real good. That's real good. Which is what I should have done here, but I didn't do it. So now, what are they doing? Okay, so we're transforming a bone. So if you notice, this was 1 point to 1 point, so it's only 2 points. So I'm trying to do the same thing here, which is what I'm creating now. I'm creating a, I'm making it so that it could bend as nicely as this one bends. All right. I apologize if this keeps popping up. I've literally widescreened. I've literally full screened the video in VLC, and I'm going over it again to overdub the video, and I'm using the mouse again. Actually, I'm kind of liking this, even though it takes twice as long to do, because I get to be more descriptive. You don't see me thinking as much while I'm trying to draw, and I can come back and get a little more detailed with the video. Who knows, if you like it this way or if you like it the other way, just let me know. And if you prefer me to dub it after and redo it, it's twice the amount of work, but I'll do it if it makes a better video. So when I created this bone, if you notice, I reattached the new points. So now we've got to do these points here to this bone. So what did I do? Oh yeah, see, I attached this bone to this. Then I use the select bone tool, which is the letter B, and then you can press I and you get this tool. If you notice, I'll go around it. That way this will still stay stuck to this bone, and then bind point. There's a shortcut for bind point, but I don't know it. And supposedly it's spacebar, but it never works. Whenever I hit spacebar, it just starts playing the animation, so I don't do that. And of course, remove the strength. Now I have sharp corners there, so that's not good. So what I have to do is I have to use the curvature tool. I just tried doing it there, if you noticed. We need to go into here and then go to the curvature tool, which is the C. And then right here, come on, select it. Come on, do it. Do it. There you go. Well, I didn't select it, but I still did it. So now when we go to Kevin, are we going to go to Kevin? Come on. There we go. Much better curves. Much better curves. Which is exactly what we want. Alright, so we're going to do the neck, I think. This was last. I was falling asleep when I did this video, so I don't remember what I'm doing right now or what I'm thinking. Obviously, okay, so alright, so we're going to attach the body now. This is crazy, trying to remember what I was doing last night when I was half asleep. Alright, so we're going to bind the points, and we're going to do all of them. If I remember, we cut it here. Yeah, come on, do it, do it, do it, do it. There we go. Alright, so we're going to bind the points, and there you go. So now I'm going to select the neck, and we're going to bind the neck points. I do remember the neck gave me some issues. I had to rebind and redo a couple of things. Alright, so we bound that. And by the way, I keep going here, but you can go B for select bone tool. And this one here is I. See it? So you can just go letter B, click I, select, and then bind. If it's, some people say it's space, it doesn't work for me. So B, I, instead of going here. I think I did press I there. And then you select right here, right between, and right there. And then bind. Right, so that's a good way. And if you figure out how to do it without, maybe it's enter. Maybe I've been hitting space and it's supposed to be enter. I don't know. So now we're going to do the face. I want to redo this face, but I don't know, because I want to be able to open the mouth. That means I'm going to have to redo the whole face. But I don't know. Maybe we'll do that in the future. So there's a couple of errors there with the bindings. That does not look natural. That does not look like the way it looked in the movie Up. You ever see those Daffy Duck cartoons where Daffy Duck loses his beak? Yeah. Yeah. I just replicated that without wanting to replicate it. Alright. So what I've got to do is I've got to get body. What am I doing with the body? I think I know what I'm doing. Am I doing what I think I'm doing? Oh, okay, so what I'm trying to do now is I'm actually going to try to delete this. But you're going to see I'm hitting the delete key. It won't go, it won't go, it won't go. That's because I have to remove its dependency. That's one thing I learned. So what I need to do is I need to select this bone and then hit the key that does reparent and reparent this bone to this neck piece. The second this bone loses a dependency, then I'll be able to delete it. So if you see right there, the bone is this bone is dependent on this one. So if I grab this bone, reparent it to this bone, now this one has no dependencies. So now I can come in, select it, hit the delete key, boom shakalaka, it's gone, right? And so we just need to redo the entire face. And this one's be driving you crazy. Hey, look, there's two mouses. There's two mouses. Ah, ah, which mouse is it? No, so we're gonna move this. I'm being stupid. I'm being stupid. I went to sleep late and I woke up early. I went to sleep late doing this video. Now I woke up early to do this video. And the dedication for my 3 fans is incredible. And so we're going to move that up. And then we're going to move that up. Alright, so I was really worried. I didn't want to do this. I was scared. I'm like, oh my god. But actually, it ended up working out. I don't know if it snapped because it was at the end or it snapped because it was in an original place. And there you go. The beak's gone again. Okay, Daffy Duck. But the neck, I'm still not happy with the neck. See, I thought it was the third bone. I didn't need the third bone, even though the third bone, maybe I should have kept it. In hindsight, I would have kept it and I would have just implemented the fix that that you're going to see me implement now. But what I'm going to do is, the reason it's morphing badly is because these points aren't aligned. So, am I going to do it? Come on, man. I already know what I'm going to do. Get to it. Get to it. It's like watching that movie where you know the ending and you want to get to the ending. And there we go. So we're going to add a point here to match this point. Then we're going to add a point here to match this point. Then we're going to add a point here to match this point. Now when we do a bend, it's going to be much more fluid. This is what I should have done. Instead of deleting that neck point, I should have just added those points and it would have worked the same. It would have actually been a little bit better because the bending would have been more natural. But there you go, you bind those. And then I'm going to bind, I think, all of these. Yeah. So another thing is, one really good thing about this that I like is that kind of see these like vertebrae on the back. So if you know human anatomy, when it comes to binding points on a really long neck or on a really long point that has that might have multiple joints or multiple, think of it like a neck or an anatomy, like the human anatomy, where you're gonna have to have several points or several columns. I don't know if you noticed how rugged that was. I'm gonna have to curvature tool these. But you got to be careful because if you overdo it, then it's going to look nasty too. Because then it might do that little thing. So you see it's getting a little bit better. The way to fix that though, now you see how I reset it? You can go forward, you can go right, left, or if you hit the B key, it resets the entire animation. Completely resets the whole animation. I learned that. You'll see me start doing that more by the end of the video. So you don't have to go right, left. You can just hit the B key real quick, and it resets the animation. If you're on frame 0, that is. Alright, so now we're basically just attaching things to, we're binding points to the skeleton, to the bones. I remember this was giving me trouble. Why was it giving me trouble? You see how, here's why it's at. You see I'm having trouble right now? I can't bind points. Because I'm at frame 1, I'm not at frame 0, remember? That's why. And here's a tip I learned. And it's funny because I've watched videos from guys who are pretty advanced. Everybody uses that right-left trick to reset the animation. Honestly, use the B key. The B key is much better at resetting the animation. And you see, like, I'm struggling. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's wrong. I've wasted almost 30 seconds to a minute trying to fix this animation, and I can't. And look, I'm not on the first frame. I'm at frame 1, not at frame 0. That's why I can't bind anything. And I'm just like, I'm looking here, looking for the tools, like, what the hell? Look how much time I'm wasting, just completely lost. Because I don't know what the hell's happening right now. And you know what's happening? I need to hit the B key. I need to set this to frame 0, and that's it. So if I'd been using the B key, this wouldn't be happening. Do I figure this out? When do I figure this out? Look, I'm still struggling. I'm still like, what the hell, dude? What the hell? I've been stuck like this where I literally saved it, exited it, and reopened the application. But it's just, don't do that. That's an idiotic way to fix things. That shows you don't know what you're doing. It's here. It's right here. Come on, man. I saw the mouse. I saw the mouse. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Get. Oh, oh, oh. You look. There. Oh, I went to frame 0. There it is. The keys have shown up. I figured it out. Eureka, Excelsior, whatever other geeky thing you want to say. There you go. So we got that. And wow, that's only 20 minutes. I got 20 more minutes of explaining this video to you guys. Whew, please don't leave this channel. I'm talking a lot, and okay, so whatever. So we're gonna go now. I'm binding the mouth to there. So I'm binding the entire face to this one bone. That way, when I use the Z letter, the Z key, or the manipulate bones, everything goes with it. No more Daffy Duck mouth. No more Daffy Duck mouth. There you go. See? Perfect. Kevin! Kevin's got a weird neck kink. I think Kevin's sick. Anyways. Kevin doesn't look too good. He looks like a dog bit him. This is really if you should put him like dead on the ground, like looking like that, and it's like a dog bit him in the neck or something. So now we're obviously gonna bind the legs. So we hit B to select the bone, and we hit I, and we select this, and I'll keep repeating myself like a parrot. But it should sink in sooner or later, and you'll start learning this and doing this on your own. And then bind points. And again, if I figure out how to do that with a shortcut key, I'll start saying it too. So then we're going to bind these points. This one's a little rougher because I didn't know whether to stop here, whether I should pick up these bones here, or whether I should just stop at those. And I think I went with these so that way there's this stays more rigid. And then lasso. That challenged me in the last episode a lot. That didn't bind. Why didn't it bind? I saw myself do it correctly. I remember. Okay. Well, that's awesome. See, I did the right-left thing. Later on, I learned to hit the B thing, hit the B key, not thing, to reset the animation. So I think right now it's like I wasn't drunk, but maybe I should have been, because then I'd have an excuse for why I'm fighting with the controls. And there you go. It took. All right. Manipulate tools. Hit the Z. There you go. It ain't perfect, but it is good. Now that I think about it, I should not have hit the 2 points that are here. That way they can go up and down, but whatever. It's done. Alright, so now we're going to do the right leg. And you know, the deafening silence in my room is crazy. Right, there you go. So we're just binding bones, being boring. Boring. Alright. There we go. Bind. Some of this, the binding areas can get a little repetitive and boring. Bind. So, not quite done, but I think when I was doing it, I thought I was. Oh, no, there we go. So, if you noticed, I am going to do something here. Oh. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I think I'm trying to test. Yeah, I'm testing. Oh no. Okay, so it is what I thought. So what I wanted to do was, after really looking at it, I remember I was looking at the tail and I was like, wasn't sure if I wanted the tail to move with the whole body or if I wanted the tail to like flap in the wind and have its own characteristics. So what I'm doing here is I'm giving the tail its own bones, so that way I can move it independently, and when I animate, I could even make it flap in the wind and move in all sorts of ways. And this is something I hadn't planned in my first animation or my first character creation, but as I started, messing with the character and messing with it, I realized that it's something that my character kind of needed because what's it called? It just felt like natural, like he really needed that. Now, if you're noticing some of the issues it's having, whoa, I didn't attach that. Some of the issues I'm having is if you bend some of the bones too much, it really gets out of whack, like you see, you see that. So what I need to do is add bone constraints, and I'm going to do that in a little bit. I think that's the last quarter of the video. And so now we're going to attach the, what did I call that? Some top tail. Top tail. Alright, yeah, I called it top tail. Don't ask me why. Alright, so we select the bone for the body. And then do that, Control A, and bind points. There you go. Now when you go back to the Kevin bone and you hit Z to manipulate, you can... I guess I'm testing. Okay, so I'm testing everything here. Yeah, so I'm testing it. See, the wing went with it. There's the head. Testing the hair pieces. And then the wing, Because when he runs, he probably flaps his wings. Even though it doesn't do anything, but as a bird, he would probably think it does. And there's a tail in the breeze. So there you go. He's fully rigged. I believe he's done from a rigging standpoint. What we need to do now is we need to add bone constraints, and it seems like we need bone constraints right now. So what the bone constraints are going to do is it's going to take away some of that ugly animation, some of like the ugly tail bends and leg bends and all of that. So see, like there, the bend too much just kind of really miswarps the neck. So there we go. I'm going to give you a secret I found. 35 is a wonderful number. It usually hits the right arc that I'm looking for in all bends. 70 seems like it's too much. 15 seems like it's not enough. 35 I found is usually the best number. It's not going to work for everything, but it's a great starting point. So I always test 70 and see if 70 is too much. If 70 is too much, then I go straight to 35. And then you'll see that the bends are good. So if you notice, there it is. The first one was at 30 and this one's at 70. 35 and this one's at 70. If you notice, the neck's a bit out there. Do I change that neck? So I'm testing the neck, seeing how it looks. Actually, look at that. That's actually pretty cool. So that's at 35. So 70 is too much for that. Oh, that one doesn't have any bone constraints. Alright. So, if you notice, am I going to do 35? I think I'm going to do 35. No, I did 20. Which, you'll see, I think I end up going to 35 anyways. Because 20 wasn't enough. I'm not sure. I don't remember right now what I went with. Yeah. So, there you go. I like 35. It's a realistic range of motion. And it's funny that for most joints it'll work really well. And I mean no, even legs. I've used it on a couple of legs and it works real good. I changed it though. Did I add or take away? Why did I do 50? Oh, we'll find out why. I guess I was drunk and tired. Nah, just kidding. I don't really drink. So let's see. For the head, you could do 50. I don't know if I left it there, but you can do 50 for that. I hope I left it there. It would be embarrassing if I went back to 35. However, that middle neck bone needs to gain some tolerance. Yeah, see, 70 is too much. You're gonna notice, I remember using 35 a lot. I tend to use 35 a lot. I find it to be a really good bone constraint. See, it's a lot better there. I could have tweaked it more and played with it more, but I'm not really going to animate this character. I just, even in the video in the beginning, you noticed the animations were horrible. I'm not really looking to animate them. This was more, I figured I did a tracing video, so why not rig a trace and whatnot. So that's why I did this video, but I don't really think I'm going to animate him. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll make an animation video. Who knows? So there's 70. That one worked at 70 primarily because of the joint that it's on. And yeah, I think 70 works well on legs. So the more flexible joints do really well with 70. If you look, this leg does fairly good with 70, but the neck worked better at 35. And these are numbers I like memorizing because they give you a more fluid animation. So you'll know, like from now on, I know that for legs, 70 might be a good starting point to see if it works well. And for necks or areas that move but you have less mobility, maybe I want to do a 35. And now that I remember it, I don't think I added constraints to the wing, which I should have, to the little itty bitty teal wing, but there you go. See, that looks, he looks like he's running there. He looks kind of like speedy, like Roadrunner there. See, that's a nice picture. I should use that as my intro picture. Who knows? Maybe. Nah, I'm not gonna redo it. I already made my video for it. I'm being lazy. This is awesome. This is a great example. I'm being lazy. You guys are learning so much from my laziness. All right, so now I don't know what I'm doing. This was last night, and I think I'm done. I think I'm done with the rig. I think at this point I was just giving myself time to... No, I think now's when I do my test animations. And I'm testing all of the bones to see if they're good. And if you notice... Oh, I was in frame 1. So I made a keyframe. So now we do some testing. There's all of the restraints. I'm on keyframe 1 again. I don't know if I did that on purpose. I think I did. I think I'm just making an animation now. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But I was having some difficulties. I do remember that because there's some trick where you can like kind of freeze the feet. So that way when you move the core, the feet stay in place. And I couldn't remember how to do that. I'd watched it in somebody else's YouTube video. And I've got to rewatch that. I'm not qualified right now to make an animation video. But I'd have to play with it a little bit more. But right here, it's kind of one of those we're both learning together moments. So, you know, I'm just trying to make a simple animation to test the rig so that you guys can see the rig and how it's working. And you know, I saw a video, man. I forget who it is, that they show how you can lock the feet in place that way when you move stuff. So that's about it. I'm just playing with the rig now. Alright, so here we go. We've got the final part. There's the rig. So we're basically, it's a small little animation. It's not even that great. But now you'll see how it's walking. And I believe, go a little bit forward. I don't remember how to fast forward on VLC, but there you go. See, I have it repeating. So it's a simple little animation. It isn't even that great. The arms moving, and there's the legs, and that's it. That's my animation video, my rigging video on how to rig a character. Hopefully you guys learned, and hopefully you can benefit from this. And let's see what my next video is. I don't know if I'll animate them or if I'll do another drawing video. I might do an original art. I haven't figured out what I want to do next, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this and you learned something from it. Thank you.